Welcome to all sins and commandments alike. This is Griever, your guys' host as always, bringing you guys episode 11 review for Dragon's Judgment, the final season of 7 Deadly Sins, also known as Nanatsu no Taizai, also known as of this episode, let's start the trek downhill. There's going to be some good moments. There's going to be still some good moments worth waiting for the rest of the season, but for the most part, guys, 7 Deadly Sins has officially ended. As far as a lot of the fans are concerned, as far as I was concerned back in the days when the manga was still going on, and we got Chapter 300. Chapter 300 is basically the beginning of this episode. Chapter 300 is what this first part of this episode is all about. And Chapter 300 was the beginning of the end for 7 Deadly Sins. One of the actually quite well done arcs as far as not so much the anime was concerned due to animation quality and etc. But up to this point, there was a lot to be happy about. Sure, Merlin had some bullshittery for the last few episodes, the last few chapters at that point, but alright. What's going to happen? What is the Demon King's plan? Why not pick Zeldris? Why pick Meliodas? What's this three-dimensional Sosuke Aizen Chair-sama himself level plan that even the minds behind Death Note couldn't come up with? What's this 4D chess plan? He's a body snatcher. The Demon King. The epitome, this god-level character, beating the shit out of everything, controlling everything revolving around this plan of making Meliodas the new Demon King. All about getting the commandments, all about Zeldris' fight for the throne, all about Meliodas' fight for the throne that he did not want, but he gained it because he wanted to break the curse once and for all. Not a single one of any of the characters thought it was a little weird. All right. If you guys want my full thoughts on Chapter 300 and stuff and this story part, because I don't want this review to be 35 minutes long, but suffice it to say, this is where the plot holes begin. Because this was, first off, a stupid plan on the Demon King's part. Very bad plan, with a number of ways it could have gone wrong. Number two, it's also makes the rest of the characters, especially the more intelligent ones, look like absolute children, look like absolute morons. Nobody ever wondered or suspected, really, this evil, giant, Demon King, Viking horns, demon sword, power level, ruler, all this stuff, and he just wants to give up his throne? What happens when you're a god? Do you retire? Yeah, I'm sick of ruling. I'm a power-hungry evil maniac, but I'm sick of it. So I think I'm going to retire to a quiet life in the country. He's not Thanos, okay? That would have been a lot better if he was like Thanos, the main character of the Avengers storyline. But we wanted Thanos, and we got a body snatcher. We literally got a body snatcher where nobody, it's so simplistic, but it's dumb on so many levels. Because he could have just taken over Zeldris' body at any given time. The 10 Commandments were all together. He could have told Zeldris, hey, take all the commandments from everybody, become the new Demon King. Like, Meliodas is a traitor, blah, blah, blah. Could have had a new body. This whole thing, for the entire storyline, the entire thing was he just wanted a new body. He wanted a newer, younger, fresher body. That's all he wanted. That's his story. And this is why I call it the beginning of the end, because there are so many other reasons. There's so many problems with this. You guys can go check out, of course. I also did a podcast. We did the Boar's Hat podcast back in the day on Grim Reaper's channel. But also, at the end of Taizai, I had a podcast with Keishan Prime, Nia D. Hemmings, and Sundown Rider that's still up on my channel, discussing some of these issues as well. Where did Taizai start to fall off? What caused the downfall? And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, there's more than just this. If it was just this, we might be able to just say, okay, the Demon King is a shitty villain. A one-dimensional, cookie-cutter, piece of shit villain. Okay, but that doesn't mean that all is lost. We still have some, good stuff going on, right? Well, they make mistakes later on. But that's not the point. The point of this episode is it's not only disappointing from a storyline perspective, from a narrative perspective, this is where the story drops off, which, as far as the last 2 seasons of the anime, is the only thing that held everybody to even a decent level of interest, because this episode was a poorly animated one too. We had some okay ones in the past for the last 10 episodes. There was some bad ones, some good ones. This one is just piss poor. This is one of the worst ones. The fight scene is abysmal to watch. I can't believe they thought this was a good idea. And then even the stills, even the big moment at the end, which should have been a beautiful still, was so bad that I feel like I could draw it from memory better than the anime did it from the manga. And I'm not that great an artist. Like, that's how piss poor this was. So this entire episode was honestly such a disappointment, because the music was there for it, and that's the only redeeming quality. The music was there. That's about it. Because, alright, you could argue the pacing was fine. The pacing was okay too, but all the moments that were supposed to be so badass were hindered by really cookie-cutter bad animation. The fight with Bond was supposed to be amazing. The moment Bond showed up, that was really freaking cool. But because the stills didn't look the best, I'm going to have a hard time finding a decent thumbnail. And the fact of the matter is that the moment it was animated, it looked like crap. We could have had this super tense moment. It should have been built up, and we should have had, and there was a couple of decent stills when Bond first arrives and confronts Meliodas, Demon King, body snatcher, Naraku, Demon King. Yeah, okay, fine dandy. But then after that, it's all crap. Like, the one redeeming thing, the one thing that I thought would be pretty cool was when, which was delivered very well. The voice acting was pretty good, because Bond's standing there. Everyone's so worried about him, and he's standing there. He's like, he lost his immortality. He's got his arms. He's not even crossing his arms. He's got his arms at his side. And he's like, this is all you got? And Gother's explaining what this big storm is. Everybody's going to die. Everybody needs to protect themselves. Even the archangels need to do the Nehru's love thing, because it's like, this is a huge energy storm of lightning and dust and wind and power. We'll die if we go out there. It's surrounded by miasma. No living thing could survive it. Bond's standing there, standing in front of the Demon King. And he's like, oh, this doesn't affect you. He goes, compared to Purgatory, this is almost cute. Cute little move you've got here. And then he starts to attack, and I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool. And it was the only thing about the episode that I was like, all right. It's not the best animated, but okay, we know the scope, we know the scale of the storm. They're doing at least that part justice to show how much more powerful Bond became. But it was then, after that, it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth because of all the really just the bad flashy punches, and then it got dark, then it got bright. It was an abysmal fight to watch. Yeah, this episode was crap, guys. It really was. It was crap for so many reasons. It's not the anime's fault that that Nakaba wrote one of the worst villains in all of manga. And that makes a lot of characters look dumb. Trust me, this is not his only sin. That is your sin, Nakaba. No. This dude he's not just carrying one sin. He's got all 7. He's got all 7 sins. I can list 7 sins, but some of them will be spoilers. So just wait for the problems that come later. And I don't even think in the anime here, I'm not sure if it's explained later. I might have missed it, so correct me if I'm wrong. But they don't even explain why Meliodas is, like, all of a sudden, he tells Meliodas, oh, Elizabeth's dead and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden he, like, gets all weak and stuff. I don't know if he even explains. It might have been a throwaway line that I missed. I was trying to watch and see if there's any decent stills for a thumbnail at that point. And at that point, I was just like, well, wait a minute now. Why is this happening? In the manga, just in case it wasn't explained, quick rundown as to why. These are still his emotions from Purgatory. So right now, his mental state is all, I'm committed, I'm ready to kick your ass out. It doesn't matter what happens to me. My only job is to say goodbye to my friends. It doesn't matter that I won't be able to stay with them anymore. It doesn't matter this, doesn't matter that. I don't care about any of that. As long as I can break the curse on Elizabeth, say goodbye to my friends, I'm good. Doesn't matter what happens to me anymore. He was, confident, committed, good to go. and his emotions were shaken. That's why he's so powerful right now. That's why he's able to cut the horn off the Demon King, etc. But then he shakes that resolve, and since he's purely based in emotion right now, it's emotional Meliodas, not his physical body or anything like Bond was. The moment there's any doubt or any negativity, it severely weakens him, and you just plant the seed and boom. So I don't know if that was fully explained. It may actually, this is something that does make sense as far as the narrative is concerned, that if he even puts the amount of doubt, because Meliodas denies it at first, like, you're lying. He's like, am I really? You know, sort of idea, you don't know, you can't see, you don't know, I'm out there. You're not, you have no idea what I've done for the past, 20 minutes. You have no idea what's happening outside. And, and that just gives him that enough doubt where everything's magnified because he's purely based emotion. That's enough to severely weaken him, shake his resolve. At the end of the episode, we do get the fact that I wanted this moment, like, it, once again, the still was terrible, but why, like, these are moments we need to expand on. They expanded on the Demon King going, sleep, sleep, my son, sleep. It's like, no, that's not what we need the moment for. We need him to remember. We saw old-fashioned Elizabeth with the hair over the eye, Princess of Leonis Elizabeth. That was the time where he was supposed to go through some memories. Expand the episode a little bit. Show us some memories. Put a nice overtune. Put a nice OST behind it and stuff. Have this portion be at least decently animated to the point, and then we have Elizabeth and everybody show up and stuff, and everybody say a line. They didn't do it in the manga, but I'm not looking for that. The manga is a different format. Do something unique. Do something, like, really good. Look, they did this in the anime. They did it for when he got his original power back, and he had to deal with all the Liz stuff that went on. In that season, in season 2, when all that was going down, they expanded that. It was like a couple of pages in the manga showcasing what he's going through, sort of like, and they had a bunch of flashbacks in the thing, but they made sure that they had a whole 3-minute OST behind this one with him talking about it and overtune. Like, slow down. You don't need to catch up with this stuff. Trust me, we're not going to miss much. If there's another, like, 13 episodes of this, it only goes downhill from here from a narrative perspective. Nobody's going to care if you rush an already rushed and terrible ending that is Seven Deadly Sins. Spoilers. So why not expand on the good moments? Go through basically the Demon King being all like, yeah, I can kick the shit out of Bond now because now Meliodas isn't fighting with him, sort of idea, and I'm still physically stronger without some internal battle at the same time where my attention's divided. I am still stronger than Bond, especially since Bond's not immortal anymore. It's like, I can do this, none of you can do anything, blah, blah, blah. It was cool for him to be so cocky, and then for Ghosted to be like, it's like, Meliodas can't hear your voices. No matter how much you whine and scream, he won't be able to hear you. And then Gothar's like, I can. And it's like, all right, that's cool. Expand on that. There are still some cool moments. Like, for example, for the rest of this season, there are still going to be some viable, really cool moments. Hopefully they're well animated. But because they are so few and far between post this episode, seriously, expand on the good stuff. Expand it. I don't care if you rush these terribly written fights. I didn't need to see, between Bond and the Demon King as many times as I did. I did not need to see that. I did not need to see the same flashy movements of blur lines going at each other with close-ups of their face. Key. I did not need to see that as much. Expand that last 2 minutes into 5 minutes, for God's sakes. Trust me, it would have been a better handled episode. Anyways, I don't want to make this became a rant more than a review. You guys watched the episode, you know what happened. The reason this is out so late, once again, busy week. It's sort of the end of the fiscal year for the government, so I have a lot on my plate. But also, I watched the episode on like Thursday, I think. And I just, honestly, I was so pissed off. You guys think this is me ranting. But I was even more irritated then. It was just like the episode before, the one before that, or whatever it was, episode 9 or something. I was so pissed off that I was just kind of like, yeah, no. Like, I don't want to sit here and rant for 35 minutes. I'd rather rant for 15. give you guys at least a glimpse into how I feel about this. Once again, I feel like it's not really repeating at this point because it is new. It's the anime. There's more different things to complain about. But I remember ranting and raving and complaining about this for so many different videos a few years back when it was coming out in the manga. So I feel like I'm beating a dead horse a little bit at this point too. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, seriously, even if they didn't want to change a single thing that Nakaba wrote that it was abysmal, if I was in charge of that, I would have been like, look, okay, here's 10 moments that are actually good in the last 50 chapters of this, abysmal arc. Here's the great moments. Here's the top 10 moments. How about, since we have terrible animators, how about we rush this, and this, because it's going to be terribly animated anyways, and how about we expand these moments where we can get away with using old footage, number one, from previous seasons. I'm sure they can figure that out. They have the rights to Seven Deadly Sins. Pretty sure they can still use the scenes from A1 Pictures and stuff. Let's reuse some of that footage if we can with flashback moments, because then people will, it's a sort of a cheap move, but it's better than what we got here. And let's really bring back the original OSTs and stuff. Let's try to make it as meaningful. Let's hit them emotionally. We can't hit them with quality of storytelling because it's Nakaba, and we can't hit them with quality of animation because we either don't have the budget or we're not that great a studio. I don't know which one it is. So let's hit them in the heart, hit them in the feels, hit them in the emotion. Bring me a great soundtrack filled with slow pacing, great voice acting, which the voice acting is fine. See, that's the thing. We have good voice acting and good sound. So use it. For God's sakes, use it, because it's your only leg you can stand on at this point. You got no story to fall back on that's worth anything anymore, and you don't have the animation to back up even bad storytelling. So you got to use the only leg you're standing on, for God's sakes. Anyways, this became a 20-minute review now, but I hope you guys understand why I'm so frustrated. I love this series. It's one of my top 10 manga, probably. Top 20 for sure. It's one of my top 20 manga of all time, even with the terribleness of this last arc. Overall, as a series, I can't help but love Seven Deadly Sins and its characters. So it makes me very passionate, I guess is the word I'll use. I'm passionate. When we get this sort of middle finger to the fan base that still stands by it, recognizes the problems, but goes, you know what, Seven Deadly Sins is still a good series. Try, for the love of God, somebody with half a brain cell, try to use what you can to make this as painless as possible for the fans. Like, seriously, why was the Bleach anime canceled? Why did we wait so long? Why was Toriko never properly animated? Why any of this stuff? Why is this happening? Why do we have Seven Deadly Sins this after the abysmal last season? And now this is what we get for our final season. How is this allowed to continue but they don't have sequel series? How is Devil is a Part-Timer not have a season 2? How does Koichi Wamade-sama not have a season 2? Like, how does Beelzebub not have a season 2? How is Bleach, one of the big three in the West, how is its anime only revived now? Like, I just don't understand where they think they're making money. Because nobody's going to buy this. I ain't going to buy it on Blu-ray. Nobody's going to buy it. I'm watching it for free. And I only do that because I run a YouTube channel. I wouldn't watch it otherwise. So, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, this turned into a 20-minute rant. I'm good with it. Good video to produce on Saturday. I might stream later. I don't know. Alright, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you think that I'm just full of shit. I don't know anymore. I just don't know. All I can say is thank you guys so much for 500 subscribers. The video for the milestone will be out next week. I just haven't gotten around to making it yet. As I said, pretty busy. That's why this review's late as well. Just trying to focus on making sure the manga reviews come out on time. So I'm trying to get other stuff done during the week. You know how it is. So, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Drink responsibly as always. Have a good weekend, everybody. Hopefully episode 12 does. I don't know. See ya.